I'm going in to win and knock 'em out. Brandi. I'm going in to win and coming out. Brandi. I'm talking about mayhem and
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special edition of A Shot of Brandi. Not only is Lil Brand here, she kicked off the episode, it's great. We're in another kitchen, as you've seen. This is Jacksonville Beach. This is called the Nehawk Lounge. It's a fantastic house. If you want to come here and have your Jacksonville Beach vacation, you'll just be like 1 block from the ocean, and it's a wonderful place to call home. Time to drink, and I brought you the highest level of guest in all of AEW that you're ever gonna possibly get. And now you're like, Brandi, how do you get all these guests? You know, how do you do? People like me. My people talk to this person's people. They had some chatter going on. It was quite a discussion, but I'll tell you what really actually sealed the deal. He's a fan of Brand, Lil Brand. No one can say no to Lil Brand, not even me. So, without further ado, the top guest. It's all downhill from here. No, just kidding. Well, it'll be good still. But no, the top guest in all of AEW, Mr. Tony Khan.
Hey,
Tony!
It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me over.
Thank you for being here.
Great to be here. The one thing is, I don't have people to call. We definitely just work this out on our own.
Okay, maybe we text it. I try to make myself sound bigger.
I don't even have people. You call me. There's no people for me to book stuff through.
Super excited to have you here because you actually introduced me to one of my favorite liquors, which is Casamigos.
It's great. It's a great product.
Fantastic tequila.
It is a great tequila.
So, and then you kind of introduced me to a way to drink it without gaining a crap ton of weight. Tell people what's your drink?
I generally will drink tequila and if not straight with a little bit of club soda, but that's my move. And straight tequila is a good way to go, and also it'll keep you honest.
I'm gonna probably get a lot of club soda.
Nice, good.
I'm really challenged when it comes to these things. Okay, so do you like cubed or crushed ice?
I'll just go straight. I'm gonna go like.
You're gonna just go straight?
Yeah, especially because
right,
the club soda's already been in the fridge. That's so much the better.
Now, do you take a little bit of lime?
No, just go straight.
You just go straight?
Yeah, just rock it.
All right, let me just get a little.
Right there.
I'm gonna actually, so what I like to do is put a little bit of color in mine. I'm gonna do a little Crystal Light. This is berry sangria, just to give it a little pop of color here.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like it's like a cocktail-y cocktail.
It's lovely. It's a lovely color. It's like the cup's color.
Yeah.
Hey, cheers. Good to see you. Thanks for having me over.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
That's good. It's always good.
It's real smooth. Like some tequilas. Do you like mezcal?
Yeah.
I can't do mezcal. It's like that smokiness kills me. I had a smoky margarita and I didn't know what it meant. It meant it had mezcal in it, and it was a rough situation. It just sounded really like refreshing, like it was gonna be delightful, and I just went in like reckless abandon, and it had all the salt around the rim, and I almost spit it out. I almost did spit take. It was a lot.
You gotta drink a lot of water. I feel like that's a good, and in general, when you're drinking, you gotta drink water. I think in life in general, even when you're not drinking, you gotta drink a lot of water.
You're the most hydrated person I've ever met.
Thank you. This is a great place you got. I mean, unfortunately, we picked a rainy day to come to the beach.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like you said, we're in here, we're gonna be drinking, we're gonna be cooking.
Yeah,
it's all good.
The best of both worlds.
So today, with you, if it's all right, what we're gonna do is a little steak action.
I love that.
We're gonna do a little cast iron steak and some asparagus. Do you like asparagus?
Sure, yeah.
All right, we'll do asparagus. But here's the thing. Tony has dietary restrictions, which is a scary thing for me because I'm kind of like a haphazard cook and just throw things together. But I have to actually pay attention today. So what are your main?
I just try to avoid dairy. That's my big thing. But I think you're using ghee butter, which is better for what I'm looking for here.
Yep, it's dairy free. And then this is also gonna be, we do a lot of firsts on Shot of Brandi. It's my first time trying to make steak with cast iron, which I'm told it will turn out beautifully. Well, so let's just give it a shot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this burner up. Now I always go like mid-high. So we're gonna throw some of this ghee butter in here. So I know that with cast iron, you've gotta make sure that like this sucker's all the way heated up already before you start trying to rock and roll on it. Otherwise, it ain't gonna cook all the way. Alrighty, so what we did here is we got a couple steaks. I've had them out here to rest and just put salt and pepper on both sides. When it comes to grilling, which I think is the same with the cast iron thing, you always wanna have your steaks kind of room temperature. If they're too cold, they don't cook all the way
I
through.
did not know that. It feels like you're standing around in the kitchen and not knowing what to do. It feels like this is like Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving?
For us. So
Yeah.
This is great.
I try to hide on Thanksgiving. People make me do things. Are you okay with vegetable oil or?
Yeah, I love vegetable oil.
Okay,
Sure, whatever
cool.
you want to do.
Because I just want to get these a little bit moist so
Yeah.
we can have the salt and pepper stick to it. All right,
great.
so we'll do a little vegetable oil. By the way, Leva has gone to Publix. How many times did you go to Publix today? How many times did you go to? 6 times today because I kept forgetting things.
The same Publix, one to a different Publix.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this water and just kind of test if the water, if it pops, then it's hot enough. If it doesn't, we keep going. It's ready.
Oh,
Okay.
it's sizzling.
Ooh, that's like a
Is
lot.
that a sizzle?
That's a really big sizzle, and I kind of feel like I'm gonna turn it down just a hair.
That's the right term for that? That's a sizzle?
I'm not gonna go too crazy. I'm gonna put these down side by side. And we're gonna kind of watch the clock a little bit with them. We're gonna give them about like 4 minutes on each side. Meantime, we're gonna spread these guys out, and then this is the temperature that we're at. We're at 425. So we're gonna throw these in here, 425, and roast them quickly. And I think it should only be maybe 10 minutes, but
You know, I've done a lot of media, but this is the first cooking show I've ever done.
Yeah?
In my dozens, if not hundreds, of media appearances over the years across different properties and subjects.
platforms.
Yeah, platforms. This is
So-
a different platform.
What's your favorite sport that you manage
It's
to
like-
do media on?
There's not like a favorite. I don't know. I mean, wrestling is kind of the best for media because wrestling fans cover the sport so
Yeah.
uniquely. But I love all the sports equally. It's hard to say. Like, I love the football media, both in America and in England.
So what I'm doing real quick is just throwing rosemary and garlic sprigs in there. So I think we got a couple of more minutes. It's looking pretty good.
Looks really
looking,
good, Brandi. This looks awesome.
I do see a lot of red still, so we may do another like quick flip on it. My mom just called. Should we call her back?
Yeah, sure.
She would be stoked
That's
to
great.
hear you. Hey, Mom, you are on speakerphone and also being recorded. And you're talking to Tony Khan right now. Say hey to Tony.
Hey, how are you?
Tony,
How are you? It's so good to hear you. I almost said so good to see you. I see your name on the phone, but how have you been?
Well, sweetheart, I think you all are doing a wonderful job. I do.
Thank
I
you.
had so much fun last night. I hurt my knee.
How did you hurt your knee watching the show?
I was jumping up and down, and I think it just slipped. But yeah, I was all into it.
That's great.
I was crazy.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching our show. That means so much.
All right, say hello to
You
Dad.
all
We'll call you
enjoy
back.
it. I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you so much. You're so sweet.
All right, I'll talk to you later, Mom.
Have a good night.
All right,
Love
bye,
you.
sweetie.
Bye.
Bye.
Aw,
She's so crazy.
that was great.
All right, gonna go back on this other side for just a sec.
Lovely.
I just take this off the heat. So I'm gonna let that rest a little bit. Tell people something they don't know about Tony Khan.
There's times where I'm like really deep in work and like NFL, like after the draft, when it was time to stop working on the draft, like it was really hard to like switch that part of my brain off. It's really fun. Sometimes it's harder to switch between the two than I let on.
So I'm gonna start putting our food together.
What a great cooking show debut this has turned out to be. It's my first cooking show and done all kinds of shows, but this is a great start, and you've cooked something that I can already tell I'm going to love.
Well, you're nailing it. So
You're nailing
there's
it.
another.
Thank you so much.
Let's see how this steak turned out. Okay,
Okay.
that's some good flavor
Really
going
good.
here.
Really good.
I want to get like further dive in though on what it's like to be Tony Khan. So like you talked about the draft,
Yes.
and I saw you and your dad doing the draft this year from home. What is that like?
This year was a really weird year for the draft because of COVID. There was more emphasis on the combine almost than ever because people couldn't go back to pro days and really do those workouts because probably 90% or more of the pro days were canceled because of COVID.
Yeah.
So like all the workouts that got done in February and early March, there was like a lot more weight on them for this draft.
Yeah. Your dad reminds me of like James Bond. Like he's so like suave and cool and smart. I mean, I imagine like you have a really great relationship.
I do have a really great relationship with my
Yeah.
dad. It's a really healthy relationship personally and professionally.
Yeah.
And it's led to, AEW being here and obviously Fulham, recently have had really good success. again. So my dad's the best, and that's great that you compared him to James Bond. He'll love that because my dad's favorite movies are all James Bond movies.
Yeah?
James Bond movie marathons and just watching James Bond movies. That's his favorite thing. Do you know what icing out is?
Ice melting in the drink?
Oh, no, icing out is actually a champagne thing because it's like you're in the bars in Champagne and you have your drink with ice in it and everyone's like, finish your drink. So you ice out, you scoop all the ice out of your drink.
Oh, so you can get it done.
So then I was like,
makes
you know
sense.
what? For me, especially now, even before COVID, I was already stopped using ice because I was like, who needs it? And then, because we're just gonna ice out anyway. So I don't need to stick my hand in my drink and then dump all the ice on the floor. So yeah, that's icing out. If anybody ever asks you about
Icing out. Now you know.
You made an amazing dinner. You made it dairy-free.
Yeah.
And it's been such a fun time hanging out with you. I mean, I feel like this is great. I mean, even if we weren't doing this for the show, for the content, this would have just been a good time, you know?
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So before we wrap, I do have to ask you, me and Cody went this year randomly, and I'm so glad we did because of everything that happened, because now we don't know when we're gonna be traveling again. But we went to England, London, for Christmas, just random. So what are like your top things to do or places to be in London?
So I remember when you went, and it was funny because I just missed you, and I'd been over there. And I'm so glad you asked. I love London so much. Here's a good answer. To the theater. It's great to go to the theater.
Oh, yeah.
I love going to the theater. When I say the theater, I don't mean the movies. That would be the cinema. And when I say the theater, I mean going to, to see theatrical productions and plays, yeah.
Did you see The Cursed Child over there? Harry Potter, my husband's a big nerd, and I love nerds, so it's great. Like, Harry Potter Cursed Child was the wave. I was like, we gotta see it there, and I lied. I said, you can only see it in London. And then he found out that you could see it in New York.
Cody's like,
too.
in a way, is like literally the biggest nerd because he's like a nerd and I'm a nerd, but Cody's like a big dude who's like a big, strong wrestler. So he's like physically, he's like the biggest nerd.
Him and Cardona are two of the biggest nerds I've ever met.
True.
And it's so sweet. They're like little pizza.
Cardona
guys.
is actually the biggest nerd in every sense of the word I've ever met. That's true. Cardona's a nerd. He's a big jack dude. He's a nerd.
He's a big child, is what he is.
He's so true. He's a man
child.
baby. He's a man baby.
He is.
He's a grown
totally
man
a man
baby.
baby.
It's great.
I make so much fun of him all the time.
Drink two?
Yeah, we're good.
Piece of cake.
Okay. Down the hatch.
That's good. You okay?
Ooh, yeah, I'm good. So just get in the kitchen, move around, put some music on if you need to, get a little brand if you need it, have a friend, good conversation, eat, enjoy.
I think at this point, like we've had a great time, and we can have another drink. I think once the cameras are
Yeah.
off and these poor guys are done with the shift. But
We'll
thanks,
have a
guys.
drink. Bye, guys. Thank
Stop,
you.
just fly high, it's your time to shine. Working hard on the grind, finally made it to the top. Everybody out here wants your spot. No one here can knock you off.